Hey there, welcome to the Dude Real Estate channel. Thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to talk about how to use other people's money to invest in real estate. Super cool strategy that I've employed many times, and it's helped me take down deals that I wouldn't have been able to take down on my own because either I didn't have the money at the time or I didn't want to use the funds that I did have. Let's dive right in and stick around till the end because I will actually be sharing, after I reveal some of these strategies, a deal that I actually did using a combination of a couple of these strategies to creatively get a deal done and be out of pocket no money. So we'll dive into that one at the end. All right, let's get started talking about these strategies. So first, partnerships. Now, partnerships can be done in a lot of different ways. There's a lot of variety when it comes to partnerships. You could be a 50-50 partner in an LLC. You could be a JV partner for just one deal. You can partner with a private money lender, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Partnerships are great because you could partner with someone who has money. Maybe they don't even have experience in real estate and they don't want to be involved. They want to be more passive. They just want to put their money to work. Maybe you have a rich uncle that would love to partner with you because you have some experience and some time to invest in real estate. You can find the deals, manage the deals, make sure that your uncle gets a good return on his money. So one of those ways that can be a little confusing though sometimes is in the longer term deal. So if you're looking at rentals, sometimes the partnerships, they either have to be comfortable with holding something for a long time or you have to work something out in the agreement that specifies when and how they get paid. Now, if it's a flip, it's much easier to do because your timeline is much more compressed. Hopefully they'll be getting paid much sooner. I use partnerships a lot. The deal I'll talk about later, actually, I did use a partner on that. One way when you're using a partner as well is if it is a long-term rental, you may be able to get them paid out more quickly and it might not have to be a long-term thing. You can do this through the Bur strategy. That's BRRRR. I think, and it stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. They made this really popular on BiggerPockets. Brandon Turner talks about it all the time. I think David Green just wrote a book on it, so you should check that out. And I do have one video, I think, on the channel where I talked about Bur. Check that out up here in the link. If you get a good enough deal and there's a lot of meat on the bone, you can get your investor paid off once you do the refinance. So it could happen as soon as 6 months out. You could get your investor totally paid off and then you own the property and they don't have to be involved at that point. But let's move on to the second strategy. The second strategy is a deal finder or a wholesaler. I kind of look at these a little bit the same way. If you're really good at finding really good deals for real estate investors, you can use other people's money essentially to take down a deal. And you can either have an assignment fee if it's a wholesale contract, or you could get brought into a deal on a smaller piece of the equity. Once they complete the deal, maybe you get a few percent on whatever you guys arrange ahead of time and have in your agreement. A couple ways to make money using other people's money in real estate investing without having to put anything up yourself. All right, the next strategy is my favorite. This is private money. And private money just means that it's gonna be, family member, friend of a friend, someone that you know that you've networked with that is willing to land on a deal. And there's two ways to kind of approach this. You can either give them equity in a deal, like say a flip, maybe you go 50-50, they put up all the money, flip the property, you guys split 50-50 on the back end. Another way to think about it is you could bring them in, let's say again on a flip, they put up all the money, you give them say 10, 11, 12% interest, and then once you close the deal, then you pay them their money. So there's a lot of different ways to structure it. It's one of my favorite ways to do it though, because it's very simple. The private money lender is protected by being the first lien holder on the property, and it's a great way to form some relationships that could end up in more meaningful partnerships in the future. I've done this a lot of times on my flips. All right, the next strategy is one I do not recommend for beginners. It's using hard money. So hard money, you're gonna have a lot more costs associated with it. These are professional lenders that will lend out money based on the asset. So you don't necessarily have to have good credit or experience, although both of those things do help quite a bit. You'll probably be able to get better terms. So be very careful if you're gonna use hard money and try to partner with someone potentially that has some experience in that arena. Now, one thing I like to do is combine hard money and private money. I call this my hybrid financing option. So I bring in the hard money lender who may do some of the purchase and some of the rehab costs or all the rehab costs. And then I bring in a private money lender, and I'll either bring them in as an equity partner on the back end, or I will pay them say 10 to 12% and they help out with at least the down payment, potentially more. So minimum, you're gonna need 15% down payment on most hard money deals. You can find some hard money lenders that will loan you 100% of the purchase and the rehab, but they're going to charge you an arm and a leg. So it better be the best deal in the world if you're going to consider something like that. It's a little bit risky. All right, another way of thinking about investing with other people's money that I think people don't really talk about is actually banks. If you're getting 80% for a property or 75% for a property from a bank, you're essentially using other people's money. That's not your money, it's other people's money. And you can leverage that plus, say, a private money lender, like I talked about in the last example. The private money lender can fund the down payment and then the bank finances the rest. There you go. You've got a deal with no money out of pocket. All right, and finally, a really great strategy, if you can find it, is seller financing. Now, a lot of times you're probably gonna want to target a property that is completely paid off, is owned free and clear by the seller, and you can work out a deal with them that works for the two of you. Essentially, they are the bank, you will pay them, you come to terms, and you can be out, no money out of pocket. You can use their money to buy their property. Really cool strategy, kind of hard to find, but if you can, it's awesome. All right, I told you we would dive into one of my deals, and this one I did about a year ago as a flip. A realtor friend of mine brought it to me. I've got a link to a playlist up here where I kind of go through the entire rehab process. So you'll want to check those videos out. Really turned out really well. So on this one, I used my hybrid financing strategy. I used hard money for most of it, but then I brought in a private money lender, gave them a really good rate on their money and paid them out at the end of the deal. So they brought a little bit more than the down payment. So that helped with carrying costs as well. When I sold the property, ended up making about $17,000. I'll link to that video up here so you can see what the actual numbers were on that deal. But I was investing in real estate using other people's money, made $17,000. It only took a little bit of my time. So those are some great ways to do it. Hey, if you've ever done any of these deals or you're thinking about different ways to use other people's money to invest in real estate, comment below. Let me know what you've done or what you intend to do. I'm sure I probably forgot some of these strategies as well, so please comment those below and we can chat there. Thanks for sticking around, guys. I'll see you later.